Good morning. We are coming to you from Bridging Innovation Week right here in Huntington, West Virginia. It's the third annual event. My name is Tiffany Lopez and I work for the West Virginia Department of Communications, and we're doing this on behalf of the Daily 304. Thank you for joining us. And I would also like to welcome Dr. Alan Letton. He is the director of Marshall University Economic Development in Black Appalachia and Isolated Communities. Long title, big job. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
So your day started yesterday here. Can you tell me a little bit about that, an overview, and tell me some of the challenges that Black Appalachia faces?
So yesterday was actually designed to start addressing that. If you look at most of the Black Appalachia communities, and again, the isolated communities, they haven't been able to enjoy the economic prosperity that we're trying to bring to the state. And it's because there's a different set of challenges. One example, in West Virginia, for example, all of the black communities are outside of opportunity zones, so they don't get the tax incentives and the other opportunities to be able to really work on an even playing field. I don't think that's intentional, but that's how things are involved. So the purpose of my center is to be very research-based and understanding what are those challenges, and then using what we do in the corporate world, setting up specific strategies to go after that. One of the things that we decided to do was to hold, in partnership with Bridging Innovation, the first statewide Black Business Development Conference. So teaming with Advantage Valley, the Bridging Innovation Group, Huntington Bank, we created that conference that took place yesterday. It was a strategy-based conference, so we spend the morning understanding what the state of Black Appalachia business is. And then from there, we decided we're going to focus on two ecosystems. One of them was health and women's beauty and services. Okay. The other one is culinary, because those are microsystems that have enough financial support to be able to thrive, but they haven't been able to. So we have a very nice list of what are the barriers, what are the strategies, and I'll use that to start plotting our path moving forward.
And have you been able to accumulate some successful partnerships already, and what do those look like for the community? Yeah,
so we've had several. So we've formed a partnership with Stephanie Tyree and the West Virginia Community Development Hub. That way we can use her network to kind of bring our services and expand that way. We formed partnerships within the community. Fairfield Community Development Corporation, we're working very closely with them. Also, being in Marshall, I'm able to bridge Marshall services. So we have a couple of research projects, for instance, where we're looking at application of new market tax credits in small communities, something that has not been done nationwide very well. But I can work with the business college with experts in tax law and economics to help us do that.
When you talk about these innovative strategies, can you give me a couple of examples that maybe we don't really understand or know about that are working, or that you do see will work?
So I'll give you an easy one, and then I'll give you a hard one. So the easy one, there's research that shows any community, whether it's community of color or not, to be successful at economic development, they have to have project management skills. Okay. Well, it just so happens I ran with a friend of mine, Dr. James Lewis, a project management institute at NC State University. So we just said very easily, we're going to make project management accessible to all communities in Appalachia at no charge. So again, doing that with Stephanie Tyree. So we're going to start launching a series of project management. So that's a very easy one to do. A harder one is like the example of the new market tax credits. Okay. We've got to go and understand it. We have to understand what infrastructure has to be there. So the research will look at the different communities that may have done it and figure out what we need to do.
Right, so tell me what's next for you as a leader doing all of this, and where you hope to take your organization?
So it's in three buckets. So one of them is to build the scholarship in the academic community. So we're working on that. I've started what's called a Great Voices series at Marshall, where we bring in other scholars from other areas, and it's from art, music, everything, to come in. The second one is coming out of yesterday's conference, to build a strategy that really sets the direction on partnerships, policy, and anything else we have to address. And then the third one is to continue building these resource infrastructures, working with the Huntington banks, working with the Appalachian Regional Commission, building that network so that we can bring solutions as rapidly as we figure out what the problems are.
Building community to make the community better. I like it.
There you go. There you go.
Dr. Alan Letton, thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you for having me. I appreciate it.
Stay tuned. We will have our next interview coming up.